And we will get this countdown started here very shortly. Hope you are all having a great Saturday morning, or whatever time or day it is for you, wherever you are. As Mo has just put it out in the chat here, quick reminder, Metroid rooms are being tracked using the G4 statue KPDR order. Sunday 1 a.m. for NN. It is Saturday 11 a.m. for me here in the central time zone. But we are off and we'll get that synced up shortly. It's always very comforting to find Morph Ball in the room that you start in. It takes a lot of stress off. Both players immediately going up the elevator just to see Pre-Batun hallway, which is a difficult room to get through without the proper items. And the classic big pink near the start of the rando, providing a plethora of items and many, many doors to check. We got our filler E-Tank here at the start. Another E-Tank. Supersponge finding a save station there, but we will have access to the map here shortly. Let's get a look at Norfair here. Mother Brain has been located, along with another Metroid. There's a major at the bottom of Big Pink. There's another major after Pre-Batun hallway. Supersponge gonna get the same look here. Hello chat, welcome on in. We are just getting underway with this first game. We're going to be playing 2 games today, and I think a third game will need to be scheduled if it comes to that. We do have power bombs here up at the top of early supers, and our first missiles. Oh, NZT not grabbing those missiles right away. Perhaps he's focused on the major at the bottom of Big Pink, which is a gravity suit. Are we seeing technical issues with Supersponge's audio? Oh yeah, I hear that. No, I hear it through the stream as well. I don't think that's through Twitch. I think that's through just Supersponge's setup. So we can switch to NZT. I'll switch it over to that. So we should be on NZT's audio now. We'll see if we can address that with Supersponge before game 2. Apologies for the audio issues. It is always it is always a puzzle to get that figured out. Okay, so both players picking up Gravity Suit here. That is one step for getting through Pre-Batoon hallway. They would either need Speed Booster or Ice. Something else to get through there. Supersponge finding his way into Brinstar. Looks like NZT was doing a lot of studying of that map there. Maybe just gathering it all in, and will try and not use the pause menu so much for the rest of the map. Okay, now NZT is picking up these missiles. Oh, reset there. He didn't have to reset. He had power bombs. He does not have to reset here. At least the save is close. Yes, this set is a best of 3. We have games 1 and 2 scheduled right now. I don't think game 3 has been scheduled. Maybe he wants to save his power bombs. It could be. There is a power bomb farm there, right next to it. Supersponge in a little bit of heat right now. Hopefully it's not a heated room on the other side. Okay, he's safe for now. Finding Wave Beam, but he's a little stuck where he's at. He does not have the energy to get out. He reverts back to Norfair. That was his last save. NZT finding his way into Brinstar. Hopefully he does not need those missiles immediately. Finding Ridley's lava dive room. So as a reminder for the format, this is Metroid's objective, no Mother Brain 2. The players are not required to kill any of the bosses unless they are in the way of the Metroid rooms themselves. And they do not have to fight Mother Brain 2, so that greatly reduces the requirements needed to initiate and finish that fight. You only need 18 ammo to destroy the tank. That can be some combination of missiles or supers. And as long as you have a way to Zeb skip, then you don't even need ammo for any of the Zematite gates. NZT finding Greenbryn main shaft here for a item here off to the side, plus a number of door checks. It looks like Supersponge is going to attempt to get this wave beam again. Maybe just focusing on getting the item and leaving these missiles alone. That should be enough energy to grab the item and get out. NZT peeking power bombs here at the bottom of Mission Impossible. Will he take on the mission? Well, he can't right now without supers. This could be one of those seeds that is withholding one of the ammo types for as long as possible. Third E-Tank here for NZT. The amount of energy you actually need to complete the game is very minimal. You could actually, in this format, you could complete it without any E-Tanks, as long as none of the rooms that require you to travel through need higher requirements than that. That is entirely up to you, NN, if you want to join for Game 2 commentary. Supersponge was thinking about going to post-croc jump room, seeing the missile door there, but also wouldn't really have any means of grabbing the major that's at the top of that. NZT and Mama Turtle room, grabbing one of the missile packs, the other missile pack out of reach, but also possibly not that important to grab. And we've located a Metroid room. Okay, this is interesting. He's got 3 power bombs. You can kill the Metroids with just power bombs. It takes 3 of them, and 2 of those power bomb hits need to be double hits. So a total of 5 ticks of power bomb damage. A 4th E-Tank. And he did get to restock on power bomb, so if he can figure out how to manipulate the Metroids in that room, he should be able to clear that room. Supersponge finding a reserve tank. Making his way up Green Hill Zone. I didn't catch sight of the map between either of the players in Brinstar. Synchronized missile pickup, let's go. Yeah, I feel like it would be an opportune time for NZT to clear that Metroid room right away, especially with the power bomb farm next door. He could take multiple attempts at it. Instead, I'm going to keep exploring the Brinstar map. Supersponge found his way in a wrecked ship. The map was below Key Hunter Stairs. Oof, yeah. Sure, the players would definitely like to have a bit more energy before that. Speaking of energy, NZT having to revert after seeing a reserve tank inside of Mickey Mouse. And Supersponge making his way across Coliseum, Gravity Suit helping out greatly for that. So I do like where Supersponge is at with just getting to a new area if the map isn't accessible. It is always such a difficult situation to feel like you have to blind most of a map if you can't get to it. But it looks like he's going to be able to get to this map in Wrecked Ship. Hopefully we'll see something useful. Wrecked Ship not exactly known for being able to hold a lot of items here, but we do have 2 majors within reach. A single chamber here. This could be huge. Perhaps a Varia suit? Perhaps an ice beam? Perhaps a speed booster? I'm about to find out major number 1. Spring Ball. Kind of a letdown. Spring Ball, not terribly useful once you have gravity. But we could see some enhanced movement with Spring Ball. And X-Ray. Hmm. That is, those are two majors that exist in Super Metroid. Wouldn't you know? X-Ray finding a lot of utility in the higher difficulties of Map Rando. In hard mode, though, usually not logically important. There are some uses of it, but usually not. Yes, technically, Supersponge has access to G mode. If we're resorting to G mode in a hard tricky race, something must have gone horribly wrong. Or you're just playing so optimal. NZT able to make it to the Bryn map. He's seeing that wave beam that was to the top left of Mount Everest. I don't think he was seeing much else. He already saw the Metroid objective there. So I think we've seen 2 objectives now. Supersponge attempting to do this damage boost across post-croc farm room. This is technically not in logic. I believe this deboost is reserved for very hard. Personally, when I'm trying to get to this top left door, I use the gamut farm, and I lure them from the bottom to the top. I'm sure Nito has X-ray climbed in a hard tricky race before. We don't talk about that. We don't talk about how I X-ray climbed Decora room in a race. I apologize. I missed that Supersponge actually got supers. I was not sure where he picked that up, but that is extremely useful. And he's finding Speed Booster here at the bottom of LN Firefly. That combined with gravity and having all the ammo types should allow Supersponge to go just about anywhere, pending he has the health for it. NZT also finding his way to Meridia, but choosing to leave? He might have just been using it as a farm. Oh, and now he's back in Meridia. There's 2 entrances to Meridia. Seeing the map just underneath the top entrance of Climb. And now we're gonna get a look at this criteria map. Criteria looking like a barren wasteland. Not a lot going on here. Now we're gonna get a look at Meridia here. Oh, it's guarded by Phantoon. It always feels kind of bad having to kill Phantoon in a mode where you're not required to kill bosses, but I do feel like the benefit outweighs having to look through everything else in the region that Phantoon is in. NZT getting this snail clip up into the top of Aqueduct. Doing that without X-Ray puts that in a higher difficulty. But NZT's got that no problem. He is fighting Fantoon. Supersponge making his way back across Coliseum. And Gravity Suit making that no problem. If only NZT had X-Ray. So Supersponge here definitely ahead on the major count. But we could see that flip depending on what Mario's map looks like. Supersponge also picking up bombs, and he's heading back to Norfair, so I suspect that he's going to post-croc jump room, and he's going to get the major that's at the top of that, using an IBJ. Or he will use Speed Booster, because that makes way more sense. And it's Plasma. Again, a major that you would normally be stoked to see. And it will help for clearing rooms faster, but it is not helpful in terms of the objectives or Mother Brain. Sick bounce ball there by Supersponge, getting all the way across jump room without dropping into the acid. And NZT is about to drop down into a sand pit here, eyeing a major, maybe two, in this sand pit. Hold. We got high jump. Do we have another one? Attempting to get in here with a wall jump instant morph. And he does find Ice Beam. Amazing. Okay, so despite what the major count is looking like right now, NZT does have a huge boost in this area finding ice. Not only does it make killing the Metroids trivial, but it also gives him a way to Zeb skip. Guaranteed. I did not see what the room preceding Mother Brain looked like. It's possible that Speed Booster would also help Supersponge do a Zeb skip. We'll have to take a look at that when we get another view of the Norfair map. Also, Supersponge getting through pre-Batoon hallway, picking up the major there. And quickly sending BT packing. The gentleman's BT skip, if you will. Okay, so are we going to see NZT starting to focus on getting back to some of these Metroid objectives? We do still need to find, I think, 2 more Metroids? 1 or 2 more Metroids. NZT finding Space Jump and Green Pirate Shell. Yeah, it is kind of crazy how they do not share very many majors in common right now. Just Morph and Gravity. They have been to an entirely different locations. We're back in Bryn now. I am assuming that Supersponge is going to attempt to target getting towards the map of Bryn. He does have 10 power bombs, so that does allow him to clear out any Metroid room he sees. There is a Metroid room in Norfair that I think the players are saving for last, because that's where Mother Brain is. Alright, NZT putting this Ice Beam into effect, clearing out Metroid Room 1. Supersponge also here in Metroid Room 1, and he will begin laying the power bombs. Fortunately, Supersponge does have Screw Attack, so he can prevent damage from the Metroid that was attached to him by doing a spin jump. He could also use his bombs to get the Metroid to detach, but with 4 Metroids flying all around you, that is a tall order. So he does clear, each player clearing their first Metroid room. NZT now making his way over to where Wave Beam is. Probably won't be too excited to see that, but it does, again, make getting through some rooms just a bit easier. I believe Supersponge saw that the map would be down the red Key Hunter shaft, and he did find another E-Tank here, which is definitely going to be helpful for getting down there. Oh, getting a surprise from Mickey Mouse right though. Supersponge still continuing to kind of just blind through Brinstar here. He did see where the map is, but I just don't think he's heading in that direction. He is going to check out the item in Mickey Mouse, which is a reserve. There'll be another little boost of health here that he can use to get through red Key Hunter shaft. And NZT taking the refill here in the RNG pit. Batoon hallway. Batoon E-Tank hallway, excuse me. Supersponge is going to be using a Shine Spark here to get to the top of Screw Attack room. Very nice. Just seems to be content with, Oh! That's a huge find. There's Varia. That is a load off of Supersponge's plate there. NZT also picking up his second Metroid room clear in Meridia. I have no doubt that Supersponge now would feel confident to go get the map. Okay, so I think we're just hunting down one more Metroid room. Unless we've seen it on the Meridian map. NZT finding his way to Criteria, identifying where the ship is, that is useful for the escape. But we do know that Criteria is basically desolate in terms of any items or objectives. So hopefully NZT recognizes this quickly. He's able to just make his way through. NZT is still not finding any supers. That is unfortunate. Oh, Criteria did have speed. My mistake on that. So there's some use to being Criteria. Ooh, Pillar Room not being kind. But he does make it through. Supersponge getting a look at the Bryn map here, seeing that he pretty much did just blind it all, and there's not much left there for him to do. So he's going to need to find a new region. Well, it is true that it's possible NZT wouldn't need supers as long as it's not blocking him on any of his path. You gotta imagine eventually he's gonna run into some sort of super lock. It's all too common. Okay, NZT picking up bombs as well. So there was bombs and speed booster in Criteria. That's not too bad. But he will likely make his way into wrecked ship from here. It does look like the map is forming this circle, where it seems like you're not entering a region that is strictly a dead end. You're able to make your way to another region, eventually, in a loop. Picking up that speed booster, and Supersponge is on his way to Meridia. We do know there was one Metroid objective in Meridia. But it's getting close here. NZT technically with the objective lead at the moment, but that gap can be closed very soon. NZT will, like, if he is able to find a way to do this without supers, he will need a couple more missile pickups to get through Mother Brain Road. Unless he wants to... Well, no, that would not be good to try and clear the tank. And he does find his first supers now at the bottom of Pit Room. So we can finally say that crisis is averted. Supersponge here going to start the Phantom fight to get the map. He has 2 of the 3 components for Microwave, so no Microwave here today. We'll see an honest Phantom fight. NZT now making his way to wrecked ship. Ooh, I wonder if... Nope, he is not intimidated. He is jumping down. Welcome in everybody from the SpeedGaming raid. We are in the middle of a Super Metroid Map Rando Multicategory tournament match between Supersponge and NZT. And they are in the thick of it. This is Metroid objective, no Mother Brain 2. So the players must find all 4 Metroid rooms, clear the Metroids. initiate the Mother Brain fight, but they don't have to fight the difficult part of the Mother Brain fight. All right, so Supersponge seeing a few majors here and that Metroid objective. I think he's at the point where he would probably question whether he needs to get these majors or not. He sees the other objective there in Norfair, so he knows that there's still one more out there. There was a Turian entrance at the top of Meridia, which I don't believe either player has been to yet. NZT getting a view of this wrecked ship map. No objectives there. The majors there were generally unimpressive with an X-ray and spring ball. Eventually, we should see them get to Turin. I do wonder, okay, so it does matter a lot whether Supersponge checks these majors in Meridia. We know that ice is in the sand pit. Is he going to do it? And furthermore, did we confirm whether he has runway to do the speed booster zip skip from the ring? Because if we have, we should be okay. Not checking any of these majors. It does look like potentially Supersponge could be skipping these majors. Nope, he is going to check this one in Spring Ball. NCT back up in Criteria. Good old Spazer, reliable Spazer. Some would say the best beam. Seems like everybody says every beam is the best beam, doesn't it? X-ray best beam, grapple best beam, Spazer best beam. Nobody says P-beam is the best beam though, or P-beam. Supersponge back in Criteria. Okay, so he didn't go to Turian from Meridia. Maybe he was just taking the refill here. And now he's going back to Meridia. Okay. That makes sense. I think both players are on the same thinking now that they have to get to Turian. Supersponge just a little bit ahead, not by too much, just a couple rooms ahead towards making progress there. I do appreciate Supersponge trying to make use of that spring ball find, getting through some of these runes a little bit more optimally. Another E-tank. The difference in majors is going to come into effect here a little bit with Supersponge needing to do a gravity jump out of moat. NZT will have space jump to get across no problem. Supersponge not having high jump or ice. Slightly complicating Red Tower. Instead, choosing to look in a different direction. only to find a dead end with an E tank. NZT also choosing not to go up Red Tower despite having all of the items that would make that possible. I think he just wanted to see like what it looked like to the right here to see if there was any other look at the map, but Supersponge finding his way up with Speed Booster, very nice. Getting a Shine Charge from the adjacent room. That is true that Supersponge could have also Springboard jumped. There are many ways up there, just didn't have like the traditional items for easily getting up there. But there are ways. There are plenty of ways. ZT getting the first look at the touring map, and we do see our final Metroid objective. I say the final one because we know that the last one is in Norfair, close to Mother Brain. The players have been saving that for last. Supersponge now also getting that look. You have to go through Pants Room. Oh, this is interesting. You can get through to the Metroid room, but you need a way out of Pants Room to do so. I wonder what the players are going to be thinking about in this scenario. Each does have a method of getting through Pants Room, but it's not easy. Supersponge has X-Ray, so you can do an X-Ray climb out of Pants Room. That is definitely not in logic, but it would be his only option of getting out of Pants Room at this time. NZT having ice can do an ice clip on the East Pants Room side. If Supersponge commits... Oh, they did find grapple. Okay. That alleviates a lot of problems with that. If Supersponge was going to have to X-ray climb, that would take up a lot of time, and they are so close that would definitely be costly. But grapple coming in to save the day. So now NZT being slightly ahead here, just a couple rooms ahead, but not by much. The players are neck and neck right now. I do think that the tracker is showing that Supersponge has 3 objectives still live, but I do believe he's cleared 2 of the rooms. We got the one in Bryn and the one in Maria. NZT going straight for the objective. Looking to make his way out. Supersponge still kind of looking at X's here. I don't think that's necessary. Unless he has already seen that he doesn't have what he would need to get to Mother Brain. He does not have that Ice Beam. That could be a huge factor here. It will be a little awkward for Supersponge to get out, but he can do a gravity jump here, or he can do a spring ball jump. Gravity jump working out just fine. But that does give NZT like a few rooms of a lead here on his way out of Torian. Ooh, having to contend with JB as well. Flatly jump does work if you have high jump. You should not find that item. Baby getting a little snack here. NZT should be fine. I don't think it was a heated room on the other side. Yeah, we're just in this room. So, doing okay there. He does have a reserve as well in case something goes horribly wrong. Nito needs some of that WX fan excitement. Look, I can't pretend to be the master at commentating. I would do that a sort of injustice. I'm here to provide the smooth vibes, you know. I'm here to lull you to sleep while watching Super Metroid. You can't pretend to be Spiffy. I can't pretend to be anyone. I'm just Nito. This is me. This is who I am. I already had a nap. Hey, a nice late morning nap is perfect on some days. Can't complain. NZT going down the sandpit again? I guess he wants to save, just in case. I gotta imagine climb would have definitely been faster. But both players, again here, kind of like tied up now in terms of room progression, making their way back to Norfair. And to get to the bottom left of Mount Everest, go down toilet. I see now why Supersponge is looking for X's a little bit more. He does not have the runway to get a Shine Spark. That ammo count could be sufficient for starting the fight. Yeah, no room for a short charge. As long as he keeps his ammo topped off, he should be okay there. I think that I saw the Metroid room was at the bottom of worst room in the game. NZT gonna spend some time farming health here. He does not have Varia, so traversing through worst room in the game is going to be a problem. He needs to make sure he's got his health covered. Supersponge does not need to worry about that as much. He'll need to worry about the pirates for sure, but otherwise smooth sailing. The only thing I'm potentially concerned about for Supersponge is making his way back up worst room in the game. That could be a little slow. So we just about top off here, and Supersponge beginning the final Metroid room clear. Now he's got the Metroid script done. I don't think the one that's attached to him took that first power bomb hit. Oh, it did die to the double hit though, so we're good. We're good there. Supersponge now looking to make his way back up worst turn in the game. He does have a couple methods of doing that. Ring ball, bombs, but it will be a little bit slow making his way up there. We'll see if that gives NZT time to catch up. He is going to opt for an IBJ. Ring ball, definitely not that slow, as long as you can get it. Sometimes that spring wall input is a little tricky, with also needing to activate the pause period. Very nice IBJ up. Both players high-fiving as they pass through the room. This is insanely close. NZT will be able to clear this Metroid room very quickly with ice. Supersponge needs to be a little careful with his ammo count here to make sure that he has enough to break the tank. Okay, he does have enough to break the tank and start the fight. And there he is. Okay, he is finished MB1. He does not have to fight MB2. So now he is beginning his escape to the ship. Ooh, NZT trying to get by without clearing the pirates. That is proving to be a problem. Oh, and he takes the death. That is unfortunate. He did have a save close by, but that is just going to widen the gap here for Supersponge to finish. There are definitely strats where you can clear those bomb blocks at the top without having to really clear the pirates, but it is risky. I am so sorry I did not prompt everybody to guess what the escape timer was going to be. Again, proving that I am no WX fan. But I do my best. How dare I? I can't believe I would do such a thing. Nito hates fun. I wouldn't go that far. That is a bold accusation. Supersponge gonna make his way up into Meridia, and then there was a Meridia exit that led right to the ship. Again, we would normally be playing Supersponge's audio for this escape. Unfortunately, he's having a little bit of an audio issue here, and we'll see if he has some way to address that after this race. But it is looking like Supersponge will be our winner here. Unless something goes horribly wrong here on the escape. I'm definitely not commentators cursing in the slightest whatsoever. NZT trying to get this Metroid room cleared out. I'm sure he feels a little panicked after taking that death. Feeling like he might be behind now. And Supersponge will wrap up game one here with a victory. Sailing off the planet, having cleared the Metroids. That is true. It is called worst room in the game for a reason. A solid victory there for Supersponge. It was hard to tell which way that was going to go, considering that each player was collecting so many different majors. It was very hard to predict.